Kukulova, Slovakia. Jara Kastelein, the Netherlands. Annemarie Rox, the Netherlands. Francesca Baroni, Italia. Martina Kukulova, Czech Republic. Silvia Persico, Italia. Suzy Godard, Luxembourg. Nicole Fede, Italia. Maïna Galland pour la France. 3 minutes, 3 minutes.
In alongside her teammate in the pro ranks is Katarina Nash. There's Sophie de Boer, the World Cup leader, in her new kit. The red and white jersey as the leader, but she's got new sponsors now. There is Nikki Bramier, the new British champion. She won it a week ago, as did all these champions. Caroline Marnie, a wave and a kiss from her. Number 42 there on the left-hand side. So the tape is pulled back by the technical delegate, as we see there. Sophie de Boer really focused. She knows that she can win the World Cup today with Sanakan not taking to the start. They're under orders now for the race start. Slightly uphill, and here they go, clipping into those pedals. Now the start of this, I know a few riders are a little bit worried, because once you go round the left-hander at the top, it's fast downhill and there's a little bit of ice that they have to be very careful of, but it is the rider from the United States of America who's got the best start, I think, safely round that right-hander. Then it's a little bit technical. On the front then is the under-23 World Cup leader, but Eva Lechner wants to take the race lead here, and there'll be a screech of brakes. Wearing number 11, Ellen Noble. She has tweeted to say she loves this course, and already into the pits for Marianne Vos, wearing number 3. So she's obviously got a bike problem. Straight out of the start for Marianne Vos, and an immediate bike change, which is something that she also had to do I think, in Zolder. So the leader is Eva Lechner, there in her new Italian champions colours. Behind her, Ellen Noble, Ellen Van Looy, Sophie de Boer, up near the front, has got a good start. She was a bit worried about the start, is Nikki Bramier. Into the gravel section. Bramier with a foot out. We'll get used to the new kits. We'll try and make sure that we pick them out. Of course, some riders have swapped to teams as of the beginning of January. And now out into the what is a covered section on pretty smooth surface, but they're safely through there. Eva Lechner, well, two riders I know who were looking forward to this course, and no surprise that Lechner's riding well as a mountain biker. Onto now a slabbed section, and now we're going to get our way towards the forest as Ellen Noble, the under-23 leader of the World Cup, sits in second place. Van Looy's looking for a little bit of a move up on the right-hand side. Katarina Nash hasn't had the best of starts here. Lechner leading Van Looy. And the two World Cup leaders, don't be confused by those red and white jerseys. They're not teammates. They lead the World Cup. De Boer with 3.73, Kant with 3.39. Noble is down in sixth place overall with 2.24, but she is the leading under-23 rider. Now we're on to the more technical section, so you'll get a good indication now of what this course is like. 3 meters wide, and some really little narrow sections which you are allowed in cross. You're allowed to have some little tucked sections of no more than about 10 meters. But there are some very slidey sections. But now where the temperature has increased up to, and Ellen Noble crashes into the side there, and Marianne Vos hits her. Vos on her new Ridley bike in her WM3 kit, and you can see here that Eva Lechner knows there's been a crash behind, so she's really kicked on up there. There's a bike on the right-hand side. One rider's gone straight over, and one rider from the Italian team, I think it could be Chiara Tiocchi, has gone straight over the netting. And Lechner has a problem. It's very, very slidey. And Ellen Noble crashes again. Sophie de Boer decides to take to the easier section. So these riders are finding that corner very, very slidey indeed. It's icy underneath your feet, and Bramier doesn't want to crash. She's taking that very, very steady indeed. Behind her is Caroline Marnie in the French champions colours. Ellen Noble's dropped back a little bit, wearing number 26. It was Chiara Tiocchi, so she didn't go over the side. It was one of the other Italian riders. Riders trying to move up. If you take the high section there, then you get a bit more grip. But where the juniors and the under-23s have raced in this section, it's now mud on ice, so it's very, very difficult to get any traction at all through this section of the course. Everyone's safely through there, apart from Alicia Zuffi, who, that's a shame. She's gone straight over the Ellen Noble, crashed there on the right. Marianne Vos into her. Sophie de Boer got a safe traction there, but it was Alicia Zuffi who went straight over the netting. She's moving around, so she's okay. This was Lechner just losing it a little bit on that turn. So let's get an idea. Oh, it was Ellen Van Looy there. These are the replays. We've seen these already. We'll get an idea now who is in the lead. And it is the rider that we would expect to be riding strongly, Eva Lechner. Behind her is Marianne Vos. She decides to run this section. And does that very strongly indeed. Comes straight up to the back wheel of Eva Lechner. Where this course has warmed up is now proving extremely difficult to ride that section. Van Looy, behind her is Katarina Nash, who's decided to shoulder her bike and run this little bit here. And Van Looy shouldering her machine as they go uphill. The course has changed quite considerably from when these riders rode it in warm-up, which would have been about an hour and a half ago. So they may well have decided to ride tyres that are not gripping or just purely it is the mud on ice that's causing the problem. It's been extremely cold. We're at 600 meters, so we're not very, very high, but we're high enough to be cold, as we just saw Manon Bakker go through. Behind her is the European champion, Chiara Tiocchi. But it's Lechner and Marianne Vos who have the lead of this race, with a considerable lead on the rest of the field. From Van Looy, Katarina Nash, Sophie de Boer, Ellen Noble still riding well despite those two crashes, and now we're on to the fast downhill section. I saw the juniors and the under-23s racing. Ellie Isabit had a few problems on the way to his victory earlier on today. He crashed a couple of times running in towards the finish, but he safely got through here to win. Onto the jumps. 39 centimetres, of course, is the maximum height, and they are right at the maximum height, as Marianne Vos takes a long time to get back on the bike there. She decides to run round that corner. Katarina Nash looks like she has now recovered from that relatively steady start to get going. Two national champions at the front of this World Cup. Lechner has a little look round to see what the situation is. She sees Marianne Vos behind her, and there is clear daylight now between them and the rest of the field. I think this race is going to be decided by who doesn't have as many crashes as the other. As we head up towards the line now, we're going to see the opening first lap. They go past my commentary position. 8:32 was from the start, but an 8:23 lap, just under 20 kilometers an hour by Marianne Vos and Eva Lechner. And Vos has decided she wants to go onto the front, particularly in the road section, which of course will play to the strengths of Marianne Vos. Across the line then, it was Lechner, Vos, Katarina Nash, Ellen Van Looy, Sophie de Boer, Ellen Noble, Nikki Bramier, Manon Bakker, Anne-Marie Vorst and Caroline Marnie were the top 10 riders across the line the first time. Into the pits for Lechner. She's not leaving anything to chance after that problem out there on the course, so she decides to change bikes, and Marianne Vos realises that she's now left on her own. No bike change for Sophie de Boer, no bike change for Ellen Noble, and now Marianne Vos is kicking on and going clear. She now has got the course to herself. And Lechner has lost a few seconds with that bike change as Marianne Vos gets into the gravel. First time we've seen her in her new WM3 kit, though of course she's in the colours of the Dutch champion, but first time we've seen Marianne Vos on a non-live bike for a long, long time, of course. She's moved on to the new Ridley machines of her own team. Katarina Nash clicking her way through the gears. Justin Sorber, thanks for that information. Vos is pitting to try and skirt the early traffic since she's been called up very far back at the moment. Thank you very much for clearing that up. If you'd like to tweet me today, @AntMcCrossan is where you can get hold of me on Twitter. And we'll go through any subjects you would like to talk about as the race continues. Marianne Vos has about an 8-second advantage now on these two riders, and of course their teammates in the Lunar Cliff team. Everyone's having to take these couple of corners extremely carefully. The Italian tifosi are cheering everyone on though. Lots of people I recognise here at the side of the course. As I just saw Lucia Gonzalez of Spain just crashing there, but getting back up on her feet. Noble working her way around that course. There is Ellen Van Looy crashing again. But yeah, lots of people here from the Giro d'Italia. This town is the home of the professional rider Stefano Pirazzi. Also Vincenzo Nibali spends a little bit of time here. And the Italians really desperately want to do well in front of their home crowd. Meanwhile, here she is, Marianne Vos. What a record this rider has. World champion as far back as 2006. She won it in 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 14. 7 times the World Cyclo-cross champion. Twice the European champion at this discipline as well. She seems now to have this course measured. She's running the sections that she has to give herself a little bit of an advantage on everybody else. And she's taking time. Rich Edge, where is Sana Kant? She's decided not to race today to get herself ready for the World Championships. I must admit, the last... there was a couple of races where she looked pretty tired. Zolder, she came back though and was second. So Sana Kant maybe just choosing this time to have a little bit of a rest before Luxembourg so that she can get that little bit of zip back in the legs. This is a brutal course. It's so tough. There's so much running. Vos, though, now just riding away from everyone. Working her way through the trees. Just look at the way she's just righting the bike, and it's not easy to ride on these sections because the mud is there, but some of the sections are really pretty hard because it was about -4 overnight. Just looking, I'm hoping that Alicia Zuffi is okay. Pretty sure that's her being stretchered away. She was sitting up and moving around, but maybe her injury's a little bit worse than we thought. That's such a shame. She desperately wanted to do well today. She finished 4th overall in Namur. She was a couple of places behind Eva Lechner. And in front of an Italian crowd, she'll have been wanting to do well. Jalapeno cycling, anyone able to fully ride that muddy crowd section at the back of the course? I saw Nievenhuis ride in one of the early races, and also one of the Italian riders was riding really strongly. Gioli Bertolini, he rode that section, but I haven't seen any of the women ride it yet. As we see Marianne Vos go through, and that lap was extremely fast. 8 minutes and 7 seconds for Marianne Vos, which is considerably faster than the first lap, which was an 8:23. So now Vos has got through the traffic. She is clearly much quicker than everyone else on this circuit. Lechner in 3rd place. Katarina Nash is 20 seconds down on Marianne Vos, but she just rode an 8:17 as her fastest lap so far. And the rider who's very quick at the moment is Anne-Marie Vorst, who is riding at the moment 6th overall, and that is our highest placing that we have seen her ever in this level of racing. Look at Marianne Vos though, accelerating so hard out of every turn. Just looks absolutely supreme, doesn't she? She came back, she won Zolder, and now she's riding strongly at the front of the race, although Katarina Nash will feel that she can come back to her. But Voss has just got that bike absolutely on rails, hasn't she? Leans over, takes the foot out, just lets the bike glide through the gravel. And that is another teammate of Marianne Vos, Yara Kastelin, who's decided to come off the course, not to her liking today. Meanwhile, the team leader of WM3 is looking like there's no ice out there at all. She rides away. She's very pleased with the new kit of her squad. She wanted to make sure that it showed green energy across the world, which is why it's got the map on it. The rest of her team are wearing. But very proud to put this this team together, I'm sure. There is Katarina Nash. Riders will be on Rhino tyres predominantly today. Marianne Vos working her way uphill here. As we go back to Katarina Nash, comes of course from the Czech Republic, lives in the United States of America. Doesn't mean that she'll be screeching those brakes. A little jump up there. Photographer got a perfect position down there on the left-hand side underneath those barriers. Really got to hold on those disc brakes as you get to that turn. We were sitting chatting about this earlier on and discussing it with Niels Albert about the disc brakes and cantilever brakes. There was a bit of a discussion going on as to whether if you were on cantilever brakes into those turns, you just had a little bit more feel as to what the bike was going to do. But Niels was happy that he thought everybody has got used to the disc brakes. Certainly they'd give you a little bit more of a feel as to how the bike is going to perhaps stop, but these disc brakes are developing so well all the time as we see Vos kicking on through this flat section before we see her turn back into the forest. Now I've noticed that Sophie de Boer is doing her usual thing of moving her way through the crowd one by one. She never ever gives in. That's given her some of the best places she's had all season. Bit of a crash there. Hitting the deck was Maud Kapteins. Another notable absentee today is Christine Majeras, who is not riding. She'll be getting ready, I'm sure, for the World Championships. And Van Looy not enjoying some areas of this course today. 4th overall in the World Cup. Marianne Vos looking around to see where everybody is. The answer, Marianne, right now is there's no one anywhere close to you. 19 seconds down is Katarina Nash. Listen to Marianne Vos. You can hear her gasping in the air. It's so cold here. That's how hard she is working right now. Sometimes you think she's cruising. Just listen to you can literally hear her on every ambient microphone. Francis Morrison, I'll do my very best to give you minute-by-minute updates on Ellen Noble. Right now, she's 5th overall, 35 seconds down, as we go back with Sophie de Boer. Sophie de Boer running 4th now. I'm just wondering where Ellen is, though. I can't see her at this moment in time, because Sophie was with Ellen and Anne-Marie Wurst, and I can see Anne-Marie Wurst just behind Sophie de Boer. There she is, wearing number 9. Marianne Vos is trying extremely hard right now as the camera pans back to try and find Katerina Nash. There she is. And Sophie de Boer is coming back. She won the first round of the World Cup, of course, in Vegas. She leads with 373 points. Said to me this morning that in Vegas, she was a long way back. And then she gave herself a talking to, which was, come on, I can win this, I can do better in this race. She said she never, ever gives in. She always believes that in front of her, someone could crash, they could puncture, they could have a mechanical. And if she just keeps giving as much as she can, then she can finish on the podium, even if she's having a bad day. It's a great positive mental attitude to have. She's got new sponsors. One of them is Bree Park, which is a big park outside Breda in the Netherlands, where they're going to be building a brand new park for the ability to do concerts and festivals. They've had a bike race there. She's pulled together the sponsors with the help of Service Knaven, who all of you will know. It's a former winner of Paris-Roubaix. And she's extremely pleased with the sponsorship she's got for this season. So in cross, she'll ride for Bree Park as we see Marianne Vos go across the line. Lap number 3. 2 laps to go for Marianne Vos, and that was an 8:14 lap. 7 seconds slower as we wait the arrival now of Katerina Nash. It's quite a hard uphill section here. Katerina Nash coming through. She's going to be around about 28 seconds down. In fact, 28 seconds down on the line. Behind her is Sophie de Boer. Behind Sophie de Boer is going to be Anne-Marie Wurst. As Marianne Vos decides not to take a bike that time. There's one pit here for these riders. Alex Meyer looking for updates about Ellen Noble. I've just seen Eva Lechner coming across the line. Here she is. So Eva Lechner is 5th at this moment in time. She'll hope to get herself back to the front to finish on the podium. And I've just seen Ellen Noble. There she is, coming across the line now. Ellen Noble riding 6th in this World Cup. Behind her is the next rider there, wearing number 20. And that will be Laura Verdonschot, who is now riding 7th. But Marianne Vos has a 28-second advantage now with 2 laps of racing to go. Caroline Marni riding 10th at the moment. Behind her is Chiara Tiocchi. Behind her is Nikki Bramier in 12th place. So let's just run through the top 10 for you. Marianne Vos, Katerina Nash at 28 seconds. Sophie de Boer now up into 3rd. This will cement the World Cup. Behind her, Anne-Marie Wurst of the Netherlands, Eva Lechner of Italy, Ellen Noble of the United States of America, Laura Verdonschot of Belgium, Ellen van Looy of Belgium. Behind there, this is a big move. Courtney McFadden of the United States of America now in 9th place, and Caroline Marni in 10th of France, who of course spends most of her time in the United States of America. That's a fantastic performance by Courtney McFadden in 9th place overall for United States of America. Do tweet me if you'd like to, at Ant McCrossan. It's ANTMCCROSSAN if you can't find me. I know many of you who've eventually found me have said, why didn't you tell me that before? Mariana kicks that on a little bit harshly there. She gets onto the run-up. And behind them now, Sophie de Boer is being tracked very closely by Anne-Marie Verst. Marianne Vos making this course look easy, but it's far from easy, as you've heard by the sounds that she's making. She punishes her body to try and win this World Cup. You have to admire the way she can ride a bike. She's so impressive. Sophie de Boer locks on the bike there a little bit. Does a mix of different training, Sophie de Boer. She trains very hard every day, but she also does a lot of yoga. Yoga becoming pretty important to some of these riders. Nikki Bramier also a believer in doing yoga as well. And Sophie also does a bit of boxing to keep fit. Lives in Amsterdam. She makes her way uphill there. But she is going to put herself in a position here where she will win the World Cup as long as she continues like this. Well, thank you for all the messages. This is the penultimate round of the World Cup before we head to next week into Hoogerheide. And then we go to Luxembourg for the World Championships to end the season. Incredible to think the Tour Down Under started today. Let's just run through some other countries for you. So noisy in the woods. Nikola Noskova is the best placed Czech Republic rider. So after Katarina Nash, of course. She's down now in 11th place. Oops. Ellen now and then is having a few problems through that little section she doesn't like too much. Nikki Bramier, the top place British rider, in fact the only British rider riding. And other countries for you just to pick up. Nadia Heigl is down in 24th place at this moment for Austria, the national champion. The Spanish riders, Aida Nuno is in 27th place with Alicia Gonzalez in 30th and Lucia Gonzalez in 32nd. Swiss rider Lise Marie Henselin is 35th at this moment. So that picks out some of the other nationalities for you. Thanks to Jeremy Durran. Nice to hear from you, Jeremy. We'll look forward to seeing you in the World Championships. Congratulations for being selected. Who is the Dutch girl wearing number 9? Anne-Marie Verst is the rider there, who is ahead of Ellen Noble. And a message about Sanne Cant. Sanne Cant not riding today. She's decided to miss this for training in some warmer weather to try and get ready for the World Championships. Same as Talita de Jong, who I think currently might be in Lanzarote. There goes Sophie de Boer, picking her way through the mud with her new sponsors, the new bike, which she told me is not a new bike. She had it as a bit of a stealth machine. Everyone was calling it a mystery bike, but it's been a Colnago all the time. And that's what she's riding here in this World Cup, with all the new livery on it to match her sponsorship. Thanks to Boels Dolmans, updating on Christine Majeres, is racing today in Ludelange on home soil. She decided not to travel down here to Rome. So thank you very much to Boels Dolmans for updating on that at the moment. Race situation then, for those of you who are just joining us. Sean Goggins doesn't like me talking about the new kits, but why not? It's the beginning of a new season. We've got to mention them and try and get used to the different teams. just bear with us, Sean, while we get the first race of the season out of the way, and then we won't talk about it anymore. Marianne Vos then, one more lap to go, 33 minutes of racing. She goes through in an 8:11 that time, so 3 seconds faster than the previous lap. Behind her then is Katarina Nash, who comes back into view. Bit of sunshine now around Fiuggi. And Nash looks to be still a similar distance behind, maybe around about 40 seconds behind Marianne Vos. Question is, who could possibly challenge Marianne Vos come the World Championships on this sort of form? 35 seconds, so 7 seconds of a difference from the last time as Vos pits this time. Sophie de Boer now has made her way onto the podium, 48 seconds down. And there is Anne-Marie Wurst. Marianne getting a little bit of encouragement there at the side of the course, just being updated. So the top four, Vos, Nash, de Boer, Anne-Marie Wurst. Into the pits this time for Katarina Nash. Eva Lechner is now riding fifth. She desperately wants to finish on the podium of the World Championships. Carl Ring, I completely agree with you. This completely shows just how good Marianne Vos is. Not just a powerhouse, but technically so good. If you walk around this course, we walked around it yesterday, 2.7 kilometers. It's slippy, it's hard, it's technical. Saw Wout van Aert standing on one of the top corners of this course for probably 10 minutes, working out the line and also discussing the line with a few people because it was so hard. And Marianne Vos right now is making this look relatively simple. The descent is so steep, and yet she's untroubled by this course. Marianne Vos then kicking uphill on the gravel. Just to update you then that Ellen Noble is in 7th place for the United States of America. Ellen Van Looy of Belgium in 8th. Nikola Noskova of the Czech Republic in 9th place. Courtney McFadden still holding strong in 10th place for the United States of America. Chiara Tiocchi of Italy is in 11th. Bramier of Great Britain is in 12th. Marnie's dropped down to 13th place. She, of course, hasn't raced for until the National Championship. She had a little bit of a break. Further on down the field, just picking out a few other riders. Maud Kapteins of the Netherlands in 17th. Rebecca Faringer of the United States in 20th. Nadia Heigl in 24th place for Austria. I know someone was asking about her earlier on. Only 2 riders haven't finished the course so far. Lichard Zufi, of course, we saw being stretchered off, and we hope she's okay. Yara Castelline decided to go to the other side of the tapes for Swedish fans. Asa Maria Alansson is in 40th place and still racing. This rider, though, is extremely impressive. Anne-Marie Wurst looking strong. Best placed Spanish rider, Aida Nuno, is in 27th place right now. Alicia Gonzalez in 31st, and Lucia Gonzalez in 32nd place so far. Marianne Vos not got too far to go to make it back-to-back victories in the World Cup. And there's 80 points on offer for the winner, 70 for second place, and 65 for third place. It would mean that Sophie de Boer could not be beaten by Sanne Cant for the overall. The World Cup is de Boer, Cant, Nash, Van Looy, Miller and Noble, the top 6th overall. This rider, of course, had a break from cyclo-cross, but she's now firmly back. Olympic champion on the road. Absolutely punishing herself out here despite the length of the lead she's got. This is a full-on workout for Marianne Vos. Fast downhill, picks the bike up, now ready for this final rise. Just sprinting. 7 times the world champion, Olympic road race champion, 3 times the world champion of the road race. Oh, has a little bit of a slip there. Twice the Olympic champion, once on the road, once on the track. Takes a big, deep breath there at the top of that rise. She's not got far to go now. The top 10, Vos, Nash, de Boer, Lechner, Verdonschot, Van Looy. Just looking to see where our Anne-Marie Vorst is. Oops. Oh, a crash there for Sophie de Boer. That will have shaken her a little bit. So it's Vos, Nash, de Boer, Verst, Lechner, Verdonschot, Van Looy, Noble, Noskova and Tioki. Fans of Courtney McFadden, she's now in 11th place. Nikki Bramier's in 12th place overall. As we see Vos go now onto the flatter section of the course, twisting and turning down towards the jumps. Over the jumps, final time. And now she'll just make her way towards the tarmac and the finish. He sends out another big signal to the rest of the world. She is completely and utterly smashing the rest of the field right now. Marianne Vos making her way towards the finish line. This is going to be back-to-back victories in the World Cup. Her first World Cup victory in her new team colours of WM3. Marianne Vos is supreme. There is Sophie de Boer. She will win the World Cup if she stays like this. Marianne Vos wins here in Fiuggi. It is back-to-back victories in the World Cup. Dutch title last week, World Cup this week. What a performance by Marianne Vos. Katarina Nash now making her way round the final corners in towards the finishing line. She is going to finish around about 50 seconds down on Marianne Vos.
Interview? Okay.
Still gasping, still recovering. But here is Katarina Nash. She's had a great season so far. She won in Namur. Katarina Nash, second place. The high fives as usual. Back on the podium yet again. Zolder, she was third. She won in Namur. And now Sophie de Boer sprinting for the podium. Here she goes. She takes third place. She's the winner of the World Cup for 2016-17. She can't now be beaten, I don't think. Just going to check on Katarina Nash, but I'm pretty sure that Sophie de Boer will win now the World Cup. yeah, she can't be beaten now. There is Eva Lechner. Must mention Anne-Marie Vorst, who finished in 4th place. Eva Lechner in 5th. Behind them, Laura Verdonschot, who's getting stronger and stronger with every race. She finishes 6th for the Marlux team. Helen van Looy's had a few crashes today. She finishes 7th. Behind her is the under-23 World Cup leader, Ellen Noble. She finishes in 8th place. That's a great performance by Ellen Noble. Behind them, the sprint goes in. The next 2 riders, Chiara Tiocchi just taking it ahead of Nicola Noskova.
Je schoenen?
Ja, noppen.
Here is Marianne
Anders
Vos.
ga je sowieso van boom tot boom. Ik kon nog redelijk overeind blijven.
Hoe snel koos je overal de juiste trajecten? Want daar leek het wel naar.
We're going to hear from Marianne Vos in a minute. I think Nikki Bramier has just finished. There is Caroline Marnie. Bramier finishes in 12th place. Caroline Marnie banged the handlebars. Really unhappy with that performance. She must have had a few problems out there today. And here come the rest of the field. So Marianne Vos wins. There we are looking at the finish line. 41 minutes and 26 seconds of racing today. Still more riders coming in, and they will be finishing for a little while yet. Well, let's hear from Marianne Vos, the winner of today's round of the Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup.
Marianne Vos, many congratulations. That was an unreal victory. Tell us about it.
Well, it's different than other races. Well, we have some slippery races, but here in the woods it's like ice. So you have to find some balance, shoot your own path, and yeah, I think I was able to do that when I was on my own.
Can you try to explain how you were coping with the difficulties and what was the recipe to survive and not crash?
Well, of course, take the good lines, have the good grip with your tires, with your shoes, and well, in the end, it's about not panicking and being able to cope with the circumstances.
Many congratulations. Thanks very much.
Marianne Vos. Don't panic, deal with the conditions, deal with the circumstances. That's how you become the winner of today's race. 41 minutes and 26 seconds behind her, Katarina Nash of the Czech Republic. Sophie de Boer finishes in 3rd place. That puts her now on 438 points overall in the World Cup, which means she can't be beaten. Anne-Marie Vorst in 4th place, Lechner, Verdonschot, and there's the makeup of the top 10. A great performance by the under-23 leader, Ellen Noble, in 8th. There's our top 20. Pick out a few. Courtney McFadden of United States in 11th, Bramier of Great Britain in 12th, and the United States of America, good day for them. Rebecca Faringer, 20th place, 3:48 down. Here's the highlights then of today's race. They went charging off the start line. The best start was Ellen Noble. Then in the woods, a few problems. Ellen Noble tangling a little bit with Marianne Vos, and at this point it was Eva Lechner who was leading, but she had a few trials and tribulations along the way. Ellen Noble crashing again. Despite those crashes, she still finished very high up. Ellen van Looy slipping and sliding. Sophie de Boer further on down the field, but continuing to try and make her way back to the front. Katarina Nash riding well at this point in the race. But this is the point when Eva Lechner decided to pit, that Marianne Vos put the hammer firmly down and she was gone. No one was able to go with her at this point, and the race never saw her again. Once she had daylight, as she said in her interview, it was a case of don't panic, do your thing. She had clear track, and that meant she was able to just ride away from the rest of the field. Slipping and sliding in the forest. Katarina Nash started to ride more strongly in the second phase of this race. But Mariana at the front, wherever possible, continued to grow her advantage. It was just one of those days where you just have to give your all and then see if it's good enough to win the race. Sophie de Boer slipping on the ice through that section there. But Marianne Vos takes double victories. Zolder and Fiuggi are hers now on her palmares. Second place to Katarina Nash today. And third place went to the World Cup leader and now the World Cup winner, Sophie de Boer. Here's the standings then in the Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup. Sophie de Boer with 4-3-8 with 80 points. For a win, it means that she can't be beaten. Katarina Nash in second place. Sanne Cant in third, didn't take to the star line today. Here's our top 20 as we pick out a few riders for you. Caitlin Antonou down there in 15, Christine Majeras in 16th place. Marianne Vos moves into 18th place with 2 wins, 160 points. Perfect record for all the World Cups that she's ridden this year. Any moment now, we'll have the presentation of today's round of the World Cup. Marianne Vos crowned the victor yet again. So far this season then, de Boer won in Vegas, Compton won in Iowa, Talita de Jong took Valkenburg, Sanne Cant won in Zeven, Nash took Namur, and Vos has taken the back-to-back wins in the series. The first rider so far in this season to take 2 victories. Well, don't forget we will have the men's race coming up, which will, I'm sure, be another big tussle. You've seen the course now, you know what to expect. Now you can start to think about who might take today's victory. Marianne Vos, that's a big workout before next week in Valkenburg in Hoogerheide, as she gets ready, of course, for the World Championship. She wants the rainbow bands back. Everyone waiting for the podium presentation then. Well, Sanne Cant has won the World Cup for the last 2 seasons. Before her, it was Katie Compton who took the victories. We're going to have a new name on the World Cup. Last year it was Sanne Cant ahead of Eva Lechner and Nikki Harris, now Nikki Bramier. This year it looks like it's going to be de Boer And then it's a tussle then between Nash and Kant, depending on whether Sanne Kant rides next week, which I'm pretty sure she will. I'm told the Luxembourg course is pretty hefty. There's a lot of running in it. There's a lot of off-camber just before the finish line. So it's going to be a big, big test come the World Championships. Good question from Luke Prevost. I'm not sure they've got spikes in today because it's pretty difficult out there on the course to decide what the terrain actually is. And 1 minute is sheet ice, the next minute is mud, the next minute it's got some snow on it, so it's pretty difficult to decide whether to use spikes in your shoes. I don't think they have. Katarina Nash drinking the local water. Of course, Fiuggi known as the place of great healing water. Michelangelo came here apparently to be healed of some ailment at some point during his life. And the thermal spas are well known here in Fiuggi, which of course has also hosted some rounds of the some stages of the Giro d'Italia, as well as hosting today's World Cup. Known for great training territory as well, with the pros who live in this region. And of course the Italian fans just love bike racing anyway. Katarina's ready for the presentation and has been for a little while. Meanwhile, as usual, the mechanics are still out, giving the bikes a good clean to get them ready for the trip after today's race. Thanks to Joe Felker for your comments on Twitter. Thank you to all of you who messaged in to get involved in the action today. And we're almost ready for the presentation. The men's race will be starting shortly. We go live in just about 30 minutes time with the men's race. Very important now, of course, that riders stay nice and warm after the racing. 2 weeks away from the World Championships. It's all about keeping that body at its absolute peak form, tapering down before that all-important weekend. So you don't want to get cold. You've got to think about exactly what you refuel. You're not thinking about today, you're thinking about 2 weeks' time. Now Marianne Vos. Everyone must be now working out, how do you beat Marianne Vos on this sort of form? She seems to be absolutely thriving being back on this circuit. But when you add back into the mix the riders who aren't here, Katie Compton, Sana Khan, Talita de Jong, Christine Majeras, all those riders who didn't take to the start today, then the race takes on a different dimension. Sophie's going back inside to stay warm.
Gentili signore e signori, attenzione, io chiedo la vostra cortese attenzione per la cerimonia protocollare dell'Unione Ciclistica Internazionale Telenet Coppa del Mondo. Mesdames et messieurs, puis-je avoir votre attention pour déclarer ouvert la cérémonie protocolaire de la Coupe du Monde Cyclo-cross Union Cycliste Internationale Telenet organisée ici dans la ville de Fiuggi. Categorie femmes.
And they're on their way out now for the presentation. Third place, Sophie de Boer of the Netherlands.
Le prossime è desserve par Riccardo Viola, le président del CONI Lazio, presidente del CONI regionale del Lazio.
So Sophie de Boer presented as the third place rider in today's Telenet UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup.
Madame et messieurs, en deuxième place, est provenant de la République tchèque,
Katarina Nash, second place.
Riccardo Viola, il presidente del CONI Lazio.
It's pretty cold up there right now. It's about 2 degrees centigrade and pretty windy. Marianne Vos makes her way onto the podium, runs up to keep a little bit warm. The winner of today's World Cup here in Fiuggi.
Applauso per gli sportivi per il podio della prova femminile.
And confirmation, there's our podium, Sophie de Boer, Katarina Nash and Marianne Vos. And now the national anthem of the Netherlands.
Applausi per queste
A
splendide
cold but
ragazze.
happy Mariana Vos singing the national anthem.
E ora, signore e signori,
All smiles from Sophie de Boer, Katerina Nash, Mariana Vos.
a Fiuggi, con la categoria interna, a promenade Pays-Bas, a Marianne Vos. Marianne Vos, le tour le plus rapide. Marianne Vos.
Mariana asking for a little bit of a cheer from the crowd.
Marianne Vos. Merci beaucoup, Marianne. Nous allons la présenter.
Well, of course, Sophie de Boer will take the World Cup leaders jersey
International.
to the final race in Hoogerheide. But she knows now that this jersey is going to be hers for the season.
World Cup. La leader della Coupe du Monde Cyclo-cross.
Teeth are chattering. It's freezing out here.
Telenet. Catégorie faible. En provenance de Pays-Bas. Fiuggi Regione.
Sophie de Boer should be thankful for another jersey.
L'applauso degli sportivi per la ragazza dell'Olanda, Sophie de Boer, che si conferma leader della classifica generale anche a Fiuggi.
Sophie de Boer, the World Cup leader, with one race to go.
Voilà après Alto Scotti, rappresentante Union Cycliste Internationale et Comité Fiuggi. A prendere mettere le maillot de leader della Coupe du Monde Cyclo-cross, Telenet UCI, Union Cycliste Internationale, Telenet.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for today's race. We'll be back with the men's race shortly. But from Fiuggi and the UCI Cyclo-cross World Cup, it's a win again for Mariana Vos. Bye for now.